Good evening, guys. Welcome to Sobriety Chat episode 2. Tonight we are, excuse me, tonight we're going to be talking to Mr. Mitchell, um, which would be on Instagram, No Order Without Chaos. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Before I start off, I found another sobriety quote that I really enjoyed that I wanted to share before I brought in Mr. Mitchell. Fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. So I thought that was pretty awesome, just something encouraging. So we will bring Mr. Mitchell in and hear his sobriety story. So hang on one second. What's going on, man?
Hey, Sergeant Dunn, how you been, man? How's it been?
Been pretty good. How about you?
Better, a lot better. You know me from about, I think it's been 2 years now at least. So I think you've probably seen me at one of my darkest points in my life, and it was a rough road. That was a really hard year for me. I'm not even gonna pretend that it wasn't. I thought, in my mind, as crazy as I was, I thought I was okay. You know what I'm saying? I really thought that I was holding. It was a hard reality to face that I wasn't. That I was actually a fucking complete mess. I was all over the place. I wasn't with my kids. It's hurt my family, and I refused to face the fact that I had a problem, several problems, but one of the problems that I did have was my drinking, and I refused to accept that because drinking's legal, so what's the big deal? It's not like it's drugs, so I didn't feel as if it was really a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like if I wasn't doing it every single day, I was like, it's all right. But then it got to a point, after I got back to Connecticut, that it was every single day. It was every day. It was every
I,
minute.
I remember watching a couple of your lives in the morning, and you were up bright and early walking to the gas station, and you grabbed a couple tall boys. I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. It got to a point where it was like, forget the beer. This isn't buzzing me. I want the most bang for my buck. So I was tearing these Captain Morgan 100 proof nips up like nobody's business. I go buy like 6 or 7 of those things, be like, yeah, this will last me for the day. It didn't last like 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'd be done with those seven by freaking like 8 o'clock in the morning. And then here I am, I'm out at work, on the road and shit, which is definitely not something I'm proud of. And I'm out in the middle of nowhere in the sticks. I'm like, where's the package store? Got time to stop at the package store. I'm looking at my schedule. I'm like, yeah, 15 minutes. I got time. I got time to get 4 more nips. Just 4 more nips. And by the time I'm finished with the day, I'm like 10, 15 nips in, and we're talking 100 proof shit. Now I didn't think I was impaired, but you drinking 10, 100 proof nips, you're impaired. You're messed up. And it got to a point where I couldn't be around people. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't be around my family. I couldn't be around my kids. Every little thing that they did would just completely and totally drive me to drink. That was my excuse. Like, oh, I'm frustrated. Things are bothering me. I'm gonna get a drink. Then it got to a point where I didn't even need an excuse. I didn't even need like an excuse to drink. I didn't need a reason to drink. I just drank. It just got that bad where I was just drinking just for the pure purpose of drinking.
So hang on. We
Just
have
for
a
the pure purpose
question.
of it. It's like I woke up one day and I just looked in the mirror. I'm like, I don't like myself. You know, I don't have to myself.
Time out. We have a question.
Yes.
So this guy's asking. This is my asshole chef. He's drinking 2, 3 times a week, he's drinking because of stress. So he's asking, what do we do to handle the stress and not drink?
You know, it's different for everybody. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's different for everybody. What I found that I enjoyed, number one, I enjoy my family. I enjoy being with my kids. I enjoy tasting hot sauce. I enjoy making hot sauce. I enjoy nature. Like just walking, exploring abandoned house. You have to find something that you enjoy that is something that brings you peace, and you got to focus on that and leave the chemical substances out of it, because I found, at least for me, like, you know, with the last job that I was working before I left Connecticut was I was doing pest control, you know, killing mosquitoes and stuff. So I was out in all these beautiful different sceneries all day, every day, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. I didn't have anybody over my, you know, shoulder telling me what to do all the time. I had this peace, and eventually I was just like, you know what, this is calming. This is peaceful. This is stress relief. You know, every now and then I would just stop at the side of the road and just take stock of my problems are compared to the world, you know. And the main thing that I found that helped me with my stress was worrying about how I was dealing with people when I was drinking. And I realized that I was causing.
I keep losing you in and out. Or the video is lagging, one of the two. Okay.
No, my phone rang, so my
So for me personally, just to give them a little bit of input on what I did, um, as far as the drinking goes, obviously I quit cold turkey, which it's really hard for a lot of people to do. I don't suggest it. It actually is more stressful to a lot of people, and it could cause more problems. But for me, it was to not be drinking. I gave myself more stuff to do. So I was always busy. I wasn't thinking about drinking. And that's kind of where the jerky thing came from because it kept me busy. Um, I recommend going to the gym. Um, I mean, anything that keeps your mind off of alcohol is probably, your best bet. But I went to sugars instead of alcohol. So if you have the craving because you're stressed out, eat a fucking cake. I don't know. Honestly, it's hard to tell somebody because I don't know your certain situation. If you got kids, that is a big focus. Spend more time with your kids instead of drinking.
yeah.
Uh, like I said, mine was making jerky, keeping myself busy, spending time with the family, working more. It's just certain things that you can do to just not be near the alcohol or even think about it. If you're always busy, you're not thinking about the alcohol.
Yeah.
So that's
And,
just a suggestion.
and this isn't for everybody. So I don't wanna like say that this is for everybody, but sometimes it's good to have a network of other people going through the same thing that are, you know, recently sober, like AA. And I know it sounds corny, but when I first stopped drinking, I did it cold turkey. I just said, you know, one day I just said, I'm done. September 9th. I'll never forget the day. September 8th was the last time I drank. September 9th, I haven't drank anything since then. Not a beer, not a wine cooler, not anything. I haven't touched it. And like Sergeant Dunn was saying, I've been busy. I've been busy since then. I've kept myself busy. If it's not, you know, busy with my kids, busy with, you know, fixing up the house, just I'm busy. I stay busy doing something. And that is very important. You know, like Sergeant Dunn was saying, you got to find something else to replace that that little thing that you reach for. Instead of reaching for that, you know, reach for spending time with your family. Reach for, you know, taking a walk. Reach for the gym if you have a gym. Go fishing. Anything that you can expend some energy doing is definitely better. Because I started reading about, not that I didn't know some of the things that alcohol did to you, but I really started studying what alcohol was doing to my body. And it scared the shit out of me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, my father just went through prostate cancer. And right after that, he had a couple of heart attacks. And now he has stents in his arms and shit. I'm just looking at all the shit my father's going through. And I'm reading about what drinking alcohol can do to your body, and I'm just like, holy shit! Like all the stuff my father's going through, like drinking is known to cause. Like not it may or may not, it will if you continue to do it. Like and it still could happen to me later on in life. I have no idea the amount of damage that I potentially have done to myself from all the drinking I've done in my entire life, but I
So
don't. You know,
he asked if the medication or if we suggest medication. Now I know Great Dane did comment. Great Dane is trying the medication and it's actually working for him. Now a lot of people, I mean, medication, there's different avenues or different routes for people. I mean, everybody, like I said, everybody's situation is different. If you think the medication might help, I mean, they make medications literally for everything now. Nicotine. I was taking the nicotine medication. Um, but in my mind, I just wasn't ready to quit yet, so I'm still stuck in that situation. So I'm still smoking cigarettes. That's way harder for me than the alcohol, which is really weird because I was and still am a recovering alcoholic, but I don't even think about alcohol anymore. But cigarettes is like, it's super hard for me, and I still got to work on that. So, I mean, talk to the doctor, math whole chef, and see if medication would be right for you. But my next question for you, Mr. Mitchell, would be: have you identified your relapse triggers? I mean, do you know?
I have. I definitely identified my relapse triggers, and I was surprised to find that they were a lot less involved than a lot of people's triggers are like maybe a death in the family or maybe some serious stress. I found my trigger was simply just walking past the fucking liquor store. Like literally, that's all it was. I didn't need any real stress. Say I'm gonna drink today. It wasn't even that serious, and I just realized that either a I take this seriously and I stop doing it, or I'm not gonna stop. There were days when I would drink. There was a couple of times right before I stopped that I drank so much. I woke up the next day, and the first thing how it is when you wake up with a fucking hangover. You're like, oh god, I'll never do this shit again. And then as soon as I feel like that, I'm like, well, just a couple today. I won't drink as much as I did yesterday. And it's like, so what's not as much? Okay, one nip less. You did 17 yesterday. You do 16 today. That's not as much. And then I just got sick and tired of playing the game with myself because that's the only person I was playing it with. Everybody else knew. Because I was living with my mom and dad at the time when I was going through all this shit, and she knew because I'm her kid, so I couldn't fool her. But I'd lie to her fucking face, and that started to hurt me because she's like, "You been drinking?" I'm like, "No, no, no, mom, I've been drinking," and then I'll like go somewhere else because I don't want to be around her because I have been drinking, and it just got so it just got tiring, like lying to myself. Like, and that's who it was affecting more than anybody. Like, I didn't do it for my kids. I didn't do it for my wife. I didn't do it for my mother. I didn't do it for my father. I did it for myself because I had tried all that other shit in the past. I'm gonna stop drinking for them, and then they stress me out, and I'd be like, "Oh, what the fuck am I stop drinking for? You gotta shut me out," and make an excuse and drink anyway. And it just got to a point where I was just like, I don't like doing this. I really don't. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the way I feel when I'm doing it. It's not stopping stress. It's not stopping the stress because after I'm done drinking, and depending on how much I have drank, then I got to worry about what did I do that day? Did I piss somebody off? Did I fuck up a relationship? One day I got so fucking drunk. I called my oldest son up. Me and him have been having a few problems with each other because I'm not too happy with what he's doing with his life, and I got drunk and I called him up and I started fucking flipping out on him about what he's doing. And I'm sitting here, I woke up the next day and I'm like, that was a really fucking dumb thing to do. Because here you are trying to talk about what he's doing with his life. But the only time you seem to be able to talk to him about what he's doing wrong with his life is when you're fucking doing something stupid with yours. What kind of example are you setting for him to follow? And how can you be mad? How? You can't, and I had to apologize to a lot of people when I finally came clean with myself. And
So did you just stop walking by bars and
no,
liquor stores, or how did you stop? You know,
I stopped stopping at them. I stopped giving myself. I stopped saying I can do one today, or just two today, or three today. I stopped with it. I kept telling myself I can't do any. And the first day was the roughest. I'm not gonna lie to you. The first day was tough because I had gotten some bad news that day, and things weren't going well with one of my jobs, and I was stressed out. And I just remember driving past, like everywhere I drove, there was a liquor store, and it was like, liquor store, come on, come on, come on, come on. Hey, I got you, buddy. I got you. Come on. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. And there was a couple times where I actually stopped and I pulled into the parking lot, and I'm like, just one. And then I'm like, a little voice in my head finally got louder than all the other ones. It's like, look, motherfucker, you said no. Like, you said no, which means not one, not a half one, not a sip, none. You need to stop. And like I said, the first few days, they were rough. I didn't go through the shakes or anything like that, but I did go through a lot of anxiety. Like, a lot of, I guess what you could call close to panic attacks or some shit like that, anxiety attacks, where it's just like, I just felt like this sense of impending doom. And I'm like, what is this? Why do I feel like this? I don't like the way this feels. And I'm like, you're not drinking. And your body is finally getting the shit out of your head that you need to do this. And it was rough. That first week was rough. And that's when I called, I got on the phone, I called some guy. I don't even know who the fuck he was. His name popped up on the AA. I just did AA on my phone and his name was there. So I just fucking called this guy. I don't know who he was. He's like, oh, I'm in North Carolina. I'm like, well, dude, I want to stop drinking. I said, I'm dead serious. I need to stop. And he put me in touch with a few resources, told me how to look up AA meetings, found this nice little app or website thing. You can go on AA and they'll give you a meeting anywhere. You put in a zip code and they'll give you every meeting that they have in that area, up to however much distance you put in, 10 miles, 5 miles, within walking distance. And I went to a few of the meetings, talked to some few people. And it was good to realize that, I mean, I know this is going to sound real corny because you hear this a lot, but it was good to know that I wasn't alone. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's always people who are recovering alcoholics and stuff like that. And I remember the very first time I went to AA when I was like 17 to 18 years old. The reason I didn't want to go is because I was like, I'm not an alcoholic. I just like to drink. I'm 17. You can't be an alcoholic at 17. Alcoholics are bums. They're, those guys you see in the streets with the paper bag and they're throwing up all the place and they're laid down on a fucking corner somewhere. And then I thought about it as I got older. I said, you've been that same fucking idiot.
you're that guy.
You've been that. You've been that guy. You just don't want to believe you've been that guy, but you've been that drunk guy that comes staggering into some place and nobody wants to be around because, when you start drinking, well, at least when I do, I'm not one of those happy drunks, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Well,
hi. But
and
no,
so you actually were able to still drive by the bars,
it got to
um,
the point where I was
or
in
the stores.
bars.
I would recommend anybody that is having that kind of problem, take a different route home, even if it's an extra 2 or 3 minutes.
Yep.
Just don't put yourself in that position. Don't look at it. You just, because you know what you're doing, and that's not helping your situation.
No.
I mean, you know you're going to drive by the liquor store. You know you're going to get the craving. You know you're going to want to stop, and you're probably going to stop. So my suggestion would take a different route, even if it's an extra 5 minutes out of the way. That way it helps you because you're going to get those urges. I mean, it's not going to go away.
No.
I mean, I can still drive by, I work at Walmart now. Um, and obviously I walk by the liquor aisle all the time because I'm stocking. Do I look at the different alcohols? Yeah. Do I think about a drinking one? Not really. I mean, I think about the hangovers. I think about puking. I mean, I think about all the past. And I think to myself, it's not worth it. It's really not. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to
One
cost
of
a
the
lot of
things that
heartache.
I've replaced, what I'm happy is I have a much better relationship with my children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that is more important to me than anything. Like, my kids aren't afraid to talk to me now because I'm the same person all the time. I'm not one way this minute, and then the next minute it's like, wait a minute, wait, dad's been drinking again. You gotta approach him differently because you know how he gets when he's like that. He might flip out, or he might start getting depressed, or he might go off the handle, or he might leave. He might just take off for a few days, and then we won't see him and shit. And I got tired of just being that person. Like I don't want my kids. I don't want my kids to ever do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to know that struggle with substance abuse because it's not. No, obviously, no one starts doing it thinking that it's going to be a problem. No one, you never take your first drink and say, you know what, I'm definitely going to become an alcoholic. I'm going to be prepared for this. So, you don't think you just drink and and like I've been drinking since I was like 16 fucking years old. I took my first drink when I was like 15, and I started really drinking at 16, like every other day, and I was drinking. Cisco and Night Train, Thunderbird and freaking OD and Graves grain alcohol. My favorite used to be Southern Comfort. Like, as long as it was strong, I didn't care how it tasted. You see me drinking something, I'm like, oh, and I'm pounding it back. And you're like, if it doesn't taste that good, what are you drinking? I'm like, I'm drinking to get fucked up. Why
Well, and
else?
I mean, you're not going to taste it much longer once it hits you.
Yeah.
You don't even taste it.
Yeah, so one of the things I definitely don't hang around with people who drink. That's one thing I just don't do. I do not put myself around people who drink socially for any reason, whether they can handle it or not. I just don't want to be in that place and get comfortable because I always have that thought in the back of my mind that might say, well, it's a mixed drink, so it's not really drinking. It's sort of kind of like drink. I don't want any excuses. I don't want to give myself any fucking excuses because I've worked really hard to get to this point. I really, really hard. And one drink destroys everything I've worked for this entire fucking almost 2 years. It destroys everything. I might as well just turn around and go back to doing the same stupid shit if I take one drink.
One of my favorite questions to ask so far during these interviews is discuss um, a little bit of like the past bar fights or something that you've done in your past that was related to alcohol that got you in trouble, either jail, ended up at the back of a cop car, something like that.
I've always been blessed where I've never ended up in jail
See,
due to
Christian, same way.
any of
Great
these.
said the same exact thing. He should have had DUIs out the ass and never got one.
Yeah, never got a DWI, never got pulled over for driving, never got arrested for being drunk. I almost did, almost. Um, I went to a bar one day, and actually one where I did pay a consequence. I got fired from a job, and the reason being was I used to work at this car dealership. Real good job, great job, made great money. You know what I'm saying? But I was an alcoholic. I drink at work, and they had a Christmas party one year. They still talk about this fucking Christmas party to this day, and I haven't worked there in almost a decade, and probably more than that, and they still talk about this. I decided, open bar, mind you, open bar. Anything we wanted to drink at this party, we could drink. But I decided I'm going to drink before I get to the party, because why not? So, I'm already a fifth in of vodka before I even get to this fucking party, to the point where I couldn't even drive myself there. Somebody had to drive me there. That's how fucked up I was. Get there, and you would think, okay, he's had enough. Even a couple of the people that were there was like, yeah, you look like you've already had a party. I'm like, no, I'm not done yet. I'm just getting started. So get there, and I'm drinking Hennessy and Grey Goose mixed together. And they always say, mix light and dark alcohol. Me being Mr. Alcoholic drunk ass, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to shock and awe the whole damn world by drinking all this alcohol. I must have had 5 or 6 of those within a half an hour. I was so freaking drunk that I ended up starting a fight with like 3 of the major, business like managers there, like threatened to kick their asses, tried to fight one of them in the bathroom, staggered out of the place drunk, embarrassed the hell out of everybody there, just embarrassed the establishment because I was acting a fool, and the people who owned the bar that we were at, it was a pool hall, but they had a bar, and they had to throw me out, and I remember because people kind of just like almost like the movie Friday where you get fired on your day off. I was off the next day and I get a phone call and they're like, yeah, Reese, we don't think you should come back. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? My day's off today. What do you mean I shouldn't come back? They're like, yeah, we don't want you. We don't want you to come back. And they said, you really embarrassed us and yourself at this party. And, we ended up having to pay, extra money because you damaged this, or I guess I threw a chair at somebody, something. I can't even fucking remember exactly what it is I did. But I cost myself a really good fucking job. And, yeah, that's one thing that I can remember that drinking has cost me. And it's not the first job that I lost because of drinking. You would have thought you would have learned after that. Don't drink while you're working. But no, I lost probably 2 to 3 jobs, good jobs, because of drinking. And every single time I lost, it's like it wasn't because I was drinking. It's because they couldn't even tell I was drinking. It's because they don't like me. I made an excuse, and of course that excuse gave me the excuse to go drink because now I'm depressed and I lost my job. Now I ain't able to drink some more because I fucking lost my job. But yeah,
So,
that's one of the things that drinking definitely cost me was a couple of gainful employment. Yeah, definitely.
so I've been following you for what, 2 years now,
At least, yeah.
something like that. So I know a lot of these answers, but this one should give me quite a few answers. So discuss points in your recovery journey that you feel you have accomplished.
I have got to the point where I don't morning thinking about alcohol. I have gotten to the point where I can literally walk past a bar because there's maybe 2 or 3 of them within a block radius of where I'm living now. And I don't feel the urge to go inside. I don't feel the urge to have a beer. I don't feel the urge to drink wine. I don't feel the urge to drink. And that has led a lot of things to open up in my life and allowed me to repair a lot of relationships with people, my spouse, which is not easy. I put her through a lot of shit, and it's like she's still waiting for me to up because I fucked up so much, and she's still waiting for it to happen. So, some people will accept your recovery, others won't because you've put them through so much. But I've learned to deal with that. I've learned to deal with her not accepting everything that I've accomplished because I accomplished it for me. I didn't accomplish it for her. You know what I'm saying? She'll benefit from it. By all means, she'll benefit from it. But if I had have gone into this with the sole purpose of trying to do it for other people, as soon as she got pissed off at me about something and threw it in my face, oh, you used to do this, I do it again because I used to. That was one of the things I do. Is like, oh well, she doesn't even see that I've changed. So what's the point? Oh, mm-mm. I'm
And
just
then go back to drinking because you're feeling disappointed in yourself because you couldn't.
right. I accomplished it. It may not have been a year yet, but the fact that I was able to stop for an entire day to me was huge. Like that first day I didn't drink, I was like, holy shit, you made it. And then the second day I was like, whoa. Then the third day, and then it just got to be a where I was like, I was excited about every day not drinking. Like it actually got to a point where it became like a competition with myself. Like, hey, dude, let's see if you don't drink today. And I was just like, yeah, let's not drink today. Yeah, I got this. And I woke up every day charged up not to drink versus waking up every day looking for a reason to drink. Smoking cigarettes, I kind of quit mostly. I started vaping, um, but I
That's
went. It's no better. Trust me, I hear it all the time from my wife. It's no better. You're just sucking other chemicals into your body a different way. So I'm still working on that. I'm
too.
still working on
Too.
that. But the drinking, the other substance abuse issues, I've conquered them so far. And the one thing that I put in my head that I always, before when I tried these things, I never thought about, is that it's not over. It's not over. Every day is a new day. So I try to treat every day as the first day that I stopped drinking. So I keep that happiness, I keep that joy, I keep that sense of accomplishment, I keep that sense of achievement in myself because it makes me want to continue to do that. I don't think to myself, oh, I got this. I'm done. That was easy. No, because I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. There are some days that I think about it like, well, what if you just drink a little bit and don't drink until you get drunk? No, no. I know myself enough to know that I can't drink at all, period. Just, I can't, I know that I will fall right back down on my face, and everything that I've worked so hard to build in myself will collapse. And I'm not willing to let that happen. I'm not willing to let that happen. Like I said, I'm enjoying my life with my kids right now. Way too.
But I'm gonna say this, and this is to anybody and everybody. Either you listen to the podcast that this will be on, or you listen to the live. Even if you don't make it that day, let's say you make it a week, let's say you make it a year, and you have that drink, you can always go back and just restart. It's not over from there. You didn't just fail. Everybody fucks up. Just take the next day and restart.
We all do.
Once somebody relapses, they think that it's, well, I'm done. I fucked up. I can't go back now. That's not true. And I mean, and it's really hard for me to say that, but it's, I read something saying that even though you did, let's say you relapsed, it's not over. Just make sure you're stronger the next go around. You know what I mean? So don't let that discourage you from quitting. If you relapse, try again. Don't just quit. Everybody, and it's what it is.
Get back on the horse.
Yeah.
You get back up. Because if I thought like you were saying, like when I relapsed, and I've relapsed several times over the past 2 years, I relapsed so many frequently. There were days when I just said to myself, "You're worthless. You're worthless because you can't fucking stop doing this shit. You can't. You can't." And I got sick and tired. I'm like saying to myself, "I can't." But I've done all this other shit. I can't stop this, but I've done this. I can't stop this, but I've done this. I taught myself how to weld. I got my pesticide license, which everybody was like, "You're not gonna be able to do that because there's too much stuff." And I'm like, "Well, I did it. I did that. I did so many things." I'm like, "Then I can do this. I can do this. I have to stop putting it in my head that I cannot do." And it sounds corny. Once again, a lot of things that people say sound really corny, but it really helps to have a positive attitude. I'm not joking. You gotta have a positive attitude when you are trying and working at bettering yourself, because you can't better yourself with a negative attitude. It's impossible. It's an oxymoron. How are you going to do something better thinking negative? It's just not possible. You have to believe more than anything in yourself. You have to. If no one else does, you have to. Because one of the things I've learned about recovery is not everybody's going to accept that shit. Not everybody's going to be as happy about it as you are.
You're gonna lose a lot of friends.
You're gonna lose
a lot of friends because everybody used to hang out with me and my wife because we went to the bars and we drank and we partied. Now we have nobody. No, nobody talks to us.
I lost a lot of friends, but you know what I gained? I gained my family. And my sons are two of the coolest little dudes that I've known, and I haven't known how cool they were because I was too busy, avoiding them because I was always fucked up on some shit. So it's just like now I'm spending time with them, and I'm actually spending time with them without any substances, and it's great because now I can listen to them and actually listen to them. You know what I'm saying? I can actually, offer them real advice and not just whatever I think sounds good at the moment because I just want to hurry up and get them out of my face so I can go have a drink or some shit like that. And knowing that I was able to accomplish that, I know that anything I set my mind to, whatever it is, I can do it because quitting drinking for me was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And I used to get so belligerent with people when they're like, "Oh, you have a drink?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck you. Mind your fucking business." Like, I cuss these people out. I cuss them out on a live. I fucking post cussing these people out. Don't fucking tell me what the fuck to do with my life, this, that, and the other. And it's like, some of the stuff that, in fact, most of the things that are worth listening to, you're not going to want to hear them when you're an addict or when you're abusing any kind of substance. You're not going to want to hear them because that part of you hasn't decided to give that shit up yet.
You're in denial. That's all it is.
Exactly. That part of you are the one, is a part of you that says, hey, fuck them. You've got me. You don't need them. And you're broke. You have no more fucking money. You're sitting there like, oh shit, I'm down on my last dollar. I'll go get a drink. Why not? I got $1. I can get a nip for $1. And then you don't have no more dollar. And you finish your nip. And you're sitting here. Well, I would be sitting here. I don't know how it is for anybody else. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be real with you. It got bad, people. It got bad. To the point where I would literally drink fucking rubbing alcohol because I wanted that feeling. I take rubbing alcohol and fucking put cranberry juice in that shit and fucking drink it. That shit is not good for you. It's not good for you at all. But that's how bad I was. That is how seriously fucking bad I was. I'd get Listerine and drink that shit.
I heard syrup, mouthwash, and yeah.
I had the fucking cooking wine. If it had alcoholic content, I'd fucking drink it. I'd drink it. It didn't matter to me what the alcohol was as long as it was fucking alcohol. I didn't care. I didn't care. And I just, I got to a point I was just like, you know what, dude? Like, seriously, you are really fucking up. Like, you're fucking up. Like, this isn't even cool anymore, man. It's like, I've only got $2. I can get 2 bottles of rubbing alcohol, 98%. Shit, it's like grain alcohol right there. Or I can go get 2 nips. I'll go get the rubbing alcohol. Fuck it. It's alcohol. I mean, no one has to know what I'm drinking. It's just I know what I'm drinking, but no one else. It just, like I said, I got tired of being that guy. I really did. I got tired of being that guy. I got tired of that dude. Like, I looked at him and I was like, dude, you know what? You gotta go. Because, like, you're not cool. You're not cool at all. You're not happy. You don't enjoy shit. You don't enjoy shit when you're drinking. You don't enjoy shit when you're not drinking. You just don't enjoy anything. You're miserable as fuck. And I don't like being miserable. I hate that shit.
So I would ask you this question, because it will be the last question. Any advice for anyone trying to become sober?
Yes. I have advice. First things first. You have to take a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror or wherever you look at yourself, from your TV screen, whatever the fuck, however you do it, just do it. And say to yourself, and ask yourself the hard questions. Are you happy with your life the way it is? If your answer is no. Then you have to start taking stock of why you're not happy with your life. And I guarantee you, drinking, for most people, and I don't care who you are, is a problem. There's always something bad that happens from it. I don't care what you say. Number one, you can't drink and drive. It's illegal. It's bad. If you do, you can get charged and lose your license. You may have messed up a relationship with somebody. You may be messing up the relationship you have with your family, with your children. The fact of the matter is, you have to take stock of what you're doing yourself, and you need to be honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Don't sugarcoat the shit. Don't say, well, I'm only bad if I drink this much. No. If you drink it all, it doesn't matter what the amount is. You know that there's always that potential for you to drink more than you intend to. It happens all the time. I mean, come on. Oh, you have a little bit too much. It's common for anybody. It's common for anybody. You really have to just say to yourself, I'm tired of this, and change it. And if you can't do it by yourself, and I'm not saying everybody can, it's hard. It is definitely a difficult thing to do. Find a support group. Seek psychological help if you have to. Sometimes you could be drinking because of an underlying psychological issue. I had a lot of psychological issues I had to address. And, like I said, the past couple of years was a long road for me. I had to get intensive psychological help. You know, I ended up hospitalized for a couple of days because of issues that I was having. And it took pretty much falling on my face for me to realize that I couldn't continue to do this anymore. And people were like, you know, a lot of people say, well, I work and I do this, and I've always kept a job. And so, you know, COVID happened, and I lost my job, and then I didn't want to go back to work. But then once I started working again, I realized it's what I love doing. So you can be an alcoholic at work. In fact, if you're going to be an alcoholic, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to pay for your alcohol. You realize that's money you're spending on it.
You will. It doesn't even have to be something bad that has like you getting in trouble. You're gonna eventually, and I get it. I'm guilty. I was spending money on alcohol and not paying my bills.
Haven't we?
I made sure I had my drink, but I didn't give a flying fuck about the bills.
Like,
I mean,
I'll pay part of the electric bill this
yep.
month. I don't have to pay the whole thing. But I'm gonna go get this 24 pack because you know, it's just like, oh man, I don't have $1 to catch the bus, but I have $1 to get a nip. So I'm gonna walk my ass to work while drinking. And I started looking at what I was giving up. Yes, the lifeboat is a good place to go on YouTube. Definitely, definitely. Very, yo, Tommy Scoville, cool, another guy that I met around the same time as Sergeant Dunn, who also reached out to me when I was going through my shit, and just like Sergeant Dunn reached out to me when I was going through my shit. And like, these two dudes did not let me make excuses for my shit. Like, dead ass. They called me on my shit. Made me face it. You know what I'm saying? And even though I didn't change myself right then and there, that's why I say you have to find a good support group. Sergeant Dunn has always been there. You get what I'm saying? He's always been there. He stopped fucking with me when I wouldn't act right, but he was always there. You know what I'm saying? He would tell me every now and then, hey, look, dude, you're acting a little wild here. Your mouth's a little too much. You know, you're doing this, you're doing that. And I chose to listen or didn't listen to him. But he was always there. You know, he never said, fuck this guy, because he could see I was going through some shit. So it's always good. And that's another part of, you know, when you're trying to get sober. Make sure you have a good support group. If you don't have one now, go out, make one. There's support groups out there. There's AA. There are other drinking, there's other alcoholic groups. There's recovery groups. There's Narcotics Anonymous. I mean, go somewhere where you feel that you will find a bunch of people who are going through some shit where they're having a problem with substances and get in there.
Which actually is kind of funny you brought that because, and Justin's on here now, but this chat will actually be, I will be incorporating drugs as well. So, I mean, Justin, if he wants to hop on sometime, I've had a couple people reach out to me and tell me that they want to tell their story with addiction, which is still a sobriety. I mean, they're still sober from obviously doing drugs. So this will eventually down the road, once they get through the people that are going through sobriety with alcohol, got some people that want to come on and talk about their drug addiction. And stuff like that, which I know will help other people as far as listening to their stories and how they recovered from that or are going through recovery. So I will be doing that as well down the road. So Justin, if you would like to hop on, probably sometime in February, I think is when I'll be caught up as far as the alcohol. I'll start doing that as well. So, but no, that's it was good shit, man. I'm glad you volunteered to come on here and tell your story.
I
It
think
was
everything you went through with me, man, I at least owed you that much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, and I know a lot, you know, I know a lot of your past. I've seen a lot of your shit. I've seen a lot of you when you were down, and I tell you every time I've seen you now, and it's completely different. And I mean, I'm proud of you for doing that. So, it's a complete change. And I noticed it when you know, just by the way you were acting. You weren't having alcohol. You didn't have all these different toxic things in your life.
right.
So, I mean, that's awesome for you and your family, man. So, I appreciate you hopping on here with me. I know a lot of people that were watching, are really enjoying these chats with people. listening to other people's stories. I think it's helping other people, hopefully.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're getting somewhere. Next week, I believe I have Joe Hannigan coming on. So everybody stay tuned for that one. It should be next Wednesday at 7:30 as well. I'm gonna try to make sure I have him on here. But Mr. Mitchell, I appreciate you hopping on here with me, and everybody that is watching, I appreciate you guys coming on. So hope everybody has a blessed night. Be safe.
Thanks everybody for watching,
And
and for your constant support. I really appreciate it.
yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. Everybody have a good night, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.